We're going to talk Stanley Cup Finals. Lightning, they're up 3-0. They win last night 6-3. It looks like the Canadiens have really not put up much of a fight. Obviously, they're trying to get a lead here, but the Lightning have been too powerful and too dominant thus far. Mike, I just want to get your reaction on what you've seen so far in this series. Has been a surprise to you? Were you expecting more out of the Canadiens? What's been the biggest thing that stood out to you?
So there really isn't much that's been a surprise, honestly. I never personally expected the Canadiens to even be in this position in the Stanley Cup Finals to be facing a team as good and talented as the Lightning. Looking at the stats, the Tampa Bay Lightning lead in pretty much every stat for the playoffs. Points, they have the most points out of any other team for the top five. Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman, and Alex Killorn, all on the Tampa Bay Lightning, are the top five leaders in points. For goals, the top three, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, they all lead the playoffs in that. Plus minus, Ryan McDonagh and Eric Chernak, both on the Lightning. Wins, Andrei Vasilevsky. Save percentage, Andrei Vasilevsky. And the only thing the Tampa Bay Lightning do not lead in is goals against average, and Andrei Vasilevsky is second. So, I mean, it's not really a fair matchup here to be a Montreal Canadien. I mean, They came into this having a great series against Vegas, which not many people expected them to come out of in the first place, and to walk right from one powerhouse of the Vegas Golden Knights, walking directly into another, the defending Stanley Cup champions, Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, I'm not surprised in the least bit to see this series be 3-0. I mean, I might have expected them to take the first one in Montreal, but you have to think that they're really at a disadvantage because they're going from Tampa Bay, who I'm not sure how many fans that arena holds, but they have a full house there. They're going to Montreal, and they're only allowed 3,500 fans for a Stanley Cup Final game. That is such a disadvantage in all sports, especially hockey, because that noise from the crowd and that's what gets those players hyped up. And to only have 3,500 fans and you're in your first Stanley Cup Finals appearance since 1993, it's disappointing. And you have to think, well, if there was more fans and more people in the arena in general just cheering it and outside noise, would it be 3-0? I don't know, but I'm not surprised at how the series has went these three first games. And I'm not going to be surprised if Tampa Bay takes Game 4 in Montreal too to sweep the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm really not going to be surprised about it.
Yeah, I think, Mike, you make a lot of great points. When you talked about Montreal and the lack of fans there, they made an effort with the city. They tried to get up to 10,000 fans for the playoffs and got rejected. I think they're at 3,500 fans in Game 3, probably the same thing in Game 4. That's a big difference. And if you're a Canadian fan, this is the first time since 1993, when you last won the Stanley Cup, that your really team's in it competing. So this means a lot to all those fans there. And it's really detrimental that they're down 3-0 and they don't have the fans really to support them. But I don't think that should take away from the job Tampa's done. I mean, they've put so much pressure on this Montreal team. They've dominated offensive opportunities. And really anything Canadiens getting going is stopped by Vasilevsky. He's been the player of almost every game in this series, stopping any chance the Canadiens have. And the Canadiens only really one opportunity was probably Game 2 to steal that game. I mean, they looked like the better team for a short period in that game. Obviously, a buzzer beater by Blake Coleman at the end of the second period. That hurt them heading into the third. It was tied 1-1 going into there, but they still looked really good. I mean, Nick Suzuki looked like the best player on the ice in Game 2. And he finished the game with 9 shots, 6 scoring chances, and 4 high danger looks. He ended with 1 goal. But when you have a guy playing that well and you still only producing 1 goal, and Tampa Bay scores 3, they beat you 3-1. That really has got to kill the Montreal Canadiens. And obviously, Game 3, the Lightning dominated. They scored 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. Vasilevsky, 32 saves. He looked outstanding. I mean, the Lightning are really making Carey Price, who's been so good in these playoffs, look basically like an average goaltender. That's what they're making him look like. I mean, they've outscored Montreal 14-5. And Lightning have not trailed a single game in this entire series. So it's really been dominated by one team, and that team is Tampa Bay. And if I had to say, I think this is going to end in 4, and unless the Canadiens can find a way to turn this around and get some sort of confidence boost. The Lightning are going to be Stanley Cup Final champions Monday night.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Mike.
Back to the fans. They have, I'm going to be guessing on a number here. They have roughly 5,000 to 10,000 fans standing directly outside of the Bell Center, going crazy when Montreal,
electric, crazy, yeah,
going crazy when the Canadiens score. So for them to not be able to go inside the Bell Center and watch the game, they have to be outside in a huge crowd, no matter where you're inside or outside. I mean, I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of this whole only 3,500 fans allowed. But that's beyond the point. We obviously have no control over that. I just think if those fans were allowed inside that arena, it could possibly be a different story right now. They could get their energy, they can get some motivation and really skate faster and get shots on net. But you said it, Mike. Game 2 was Montreal's best game by far. They honestly should have won that game, but they can't get anything past Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, he has 42 saves. He's the favorite for the Conn Smythe by far. Very physical game in games 1 and 2. Games 1 had 58 hits for the Canadiens and 57 hits for Tampa Bay. And that's something you really don't see that much in the regular season, no less the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, that is a ton of hits. But Cole Caulfield has 1 point in the Stanley Cup Finals so far, and that was last night. He had an assist. And they need him to start taking more chances. I know he shoots the puck a good amount, but he needs to take better shots and shots that he has better looks at, not terrible angles like some shots he does, passing the puck back to Suzuki and whatnot. So they really have to get Caulfield going. And you pointed out Carey Price. Without Carey Price, this team
it's not even close. Yeah,
this team is out 2 rounds ago. They never even come close. I mean, I had the finals to be Colorado Avalanche versus Tampa Bay. So I was half right, but to think Carey Price carried the Montreal Canadiens through the entire playoffs and swept Winnipeg and into the Stanley Cup Finals, man. It's a miracle. And Carey Price isn't really playing that well in the finals right now, but you can't put all the blame on him. I mean, his defense is not performing. Tampa Bay Lightning is just going through their zone and not taking no for an answer. They're getting rebounds. Last night, Tyler Johnson goes right through their defense, shoots the puck, gets his own rebound, scores. I mean, you can't be giving up those rebounds if you're Carey Price. I mean, I know that one hurt. Game 2, the buzzer beater from I forget who it was. The diving play. Yeah, Coleman, the diving play. That's the second time he's done that already. Like with 3 seconds left, I think. I mean, that can't be happening.
It's heart wrenching. Yeah.
If you're Carey Price, you have to be going into the locker room during that intermission and just kicking yourself in the stomach for that one. I mean, it's so unfortunate. And that right there was kind of like, well, this game's over. They just took all the advantage, the momentum, whatever we had. We don't have it anymore. They just literally beat us down, buzzer beater goal. And yeah, they still have another period, but that hurts. That last goal with a second, 2-3 seconds left, it kills them. And you kind of knew they weren't going to be able to come back for that. But game 4 is going to be interesting because you don't know if Tampa Bay is going to sweep the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, a lot of people are saying that this Tampa Bay Lightning and the Islanders series feels more like a Stanley Cup Finals than
especially
this.
if you're in New York. That's what it felt like.
Of course, and like these games are kind of just uninteresting and really hard to watch because by the second period it could be 4-1 in every single one of these games. So the matchup between the Lightning and the Canadiens is so far unparalleled. It's insane. And without Carey Price, this team is not even close to being in the situation they are now.
I think it's safe to say that the Canadiens are being held by Carey Price, almost like being held together by a single Band-Aid. And it's just stretched to its maximum stretch, whatever that term is. But Mike, Andrei Vasilevsky has been, I think he's going to be the MVP of the series. Okay. I just wanted to talk about him and the Tampa Bay Lightning as a team. First of all, I watched game 3. I was able to catch the second period. Man, can they fly up and down that ice? Those Lightning, they live up to their name. They fly. And I know that height hurts in sports and physicality can hurt too, but speed absolutely kills. And that has been proven by the Tampa Bay Lightning, the way that they just skate so fluently up and down that ice. And Andrei Vasilevsky, the importance of having a great defense on a championship team in any sport, I think we can agree, is how you're going to win. And Andrei Vasilevsky, who is by far and away the best goaltender in hockey, 18 saves in game 1. He only allowed 1 goal. Game 2, 42 saves. That's just I don't even know, an incomprehensible amount of saves for me. And in Game 3, 32 saves. Now, in the first 3 games, and pretty much like the 3 games that mattered, because I think Tampa Bay is going to sweep, Vasilevsky has had a save percentage in all 3 of those games above 91%. So it's hard for me to not give him the Stanley Cup MVP award. He's just been that good and anchoring that Tampa Bay defense. And I think it's safe to say, with Vasilevsky on his game, that Tampa Bay team goes, man. And that their defense and the way that they skate, like I said, creates opportunities for them to score. And they've pretty much done what they've wanted to the Canadiens. So I think the series is over. Montreal is being held together by that Band-Aid. But you know what? For the Canadiens, good job. You got here. You got your 24 Stanley Cups. You can come back next year with Tampa Bay. They could still be here, but man, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're just really good.
Yeah, they're really good. And I think one of the differences too is this defense Tampa has. I mean, they're just another level of physicality I don't think the Canadiens have really seen. And the problem, I think, is that there's been a lot of stupid mistakes made by the Canadiens. I mean, I go back to Game 2. I mean, Joel Edmondson makes an awful error that leads to a third goal. It kind of like passes it backwards, trying to find someone. It totally gets picked off for a goal. And you just can't have those errors if you want to beat the reigning champions, if you want to beat the Lightning.